Good morning and welcome to the channel on this Thursday, the 14th of May 2026. I thought this morning that we'd have a look at what is happening with the US-China talks and see what, if anything, has actually come out of that. The talks themselves did not produce any formal agreement, but they did signal a clear political direction. So here's some of the things that I've found out. The core outcomes are no deal, but a deliberate push towards stability, which is a good thing. Across all major sources, the talks ended with no signed agreements, no joint communique, no breakthrough on Taiwan, Iran or tariffs. This may seem a bad thing, but in actual fact, there are a lot of positives that have come out of this. Both leaders emphasised, for example, a desire to avoid confrontation, a commitment to be partners, not rivals, and this was President Xi's word, which was a good thing. A shared intention to keep diplomatic channels open. The positions the summit as a reset attempt, not a resolution. So what they did agree on was this: strengthening economic cooperation. President Xi said earlier trade negotiations had produced generally balanced and positive outcome. Both sides signalled readiness to expand, for example, Chinese purchases of Boeing aircraft and agricultural goods and energy products. They're also going to create new forums for trade and investment, expected establishment of mutual trade and investment forums to manage disputes and expand market access. Again, a good thing. They're going to have a continued high-level dialogue with both leaders framed 2026 as a potential historic landmark year for bilateral ties. Again, a good thing. However, there are major sticking points where no movement has been happening. And top of the list of those is Taiwan. President Xi warned Trump that Taiwan remains a potential trigger for conflict. No compromise was reached. Both sides restated their positions. Now that is going to be a difficult point because there is no doubt whatsoever that China wants to take over Taiwan. Hopefully politically like they did in Hong Kong, but if not, they will take it militarily sometime in the future. In the Iran war, for example, Trump had pressed China to use its influence with Tehran, but China did not commit to any specific action. When trade tariffs and technological restrictions, tariffs, rare earths and AI export controls were discussed, but no changes were announced. The symbolic outcomes of all this is that President Xi framed the summit as opening a new chapter in US-China relations. Trump emphasised personal rapport and said he expected great things from the summit. The presence of major US CEOs, for example Elon Musk, Cook, Wang, etc., signalled a push for a commercial re-engagement. The bottom line is the US-China talks produced no concrete agreements, but they successfully lowered the temperature and set the stage for further negotiations on trade, technology and regional security. Both sides publicly committed to cooperation over rivalry, but the hardest issues, Taiwan, Iran and technical controls, remain unresolved. But at least it's a way forward. Better jaw than more war. Thank you for listening. Talk to you again tomorrow.